Hey, what is up, guys? This is Gen Z Finance, and I'm back for another video. As you guys can tell, this week wasn't very nice to me. I am currently down quite a large sum of money. For the past month, I'm down almost 1,300, and the past week is $2,400 down on only a $4,000 account. So this week hurt a little bit. If you guys are new to the whole investing atmosphere and don't currently have an investment app, I can leave a link down in the description below to Robinhood. If you use that link, you can get a stock valued up to $200 for free. You just have to sign up using that link, and the three things you need to sign up are a valid social security number, you need to be a US resident, and you need to be at least 18 or older. So if you guys want to start investing, just take a look down in the description below. As always, guys, I'm not a financial advisor. These are simply just suggestions and ideas that I've come up with for my own investments. If you choose to follow what I do, it is at your own risk. So be careful and do your own research before performing any of the trades that I perform. All right, so now back to the video. All right, as you guys probably know, if you guys are watching these videos, the stocks have not been doing too well this past week. If you look right here, it was at almost 135 and it dipped. And this, I should have gotten out on the second, but then I saw it dip again, and I finally got out on the third, which didn't really help my cause much. I was down about 60% of my investments. So yeah, as you guys can see here, it dipped all the way down to 113, and with put options and call options, they go down pretty fast with just like a 5% dip, and that's how much it went. It went down 6% this week, and it was not very good for my stock portfolio, but that's okay. Now, as for Tesla, as you can see here, when we go to the 1 week, it went down 12% from the week, and that's right here is where it's starting at. 1441 is what it started at right after the stock split, and down 12% from the stock split is quite a bit. But when we were at it, at the peak, it was at 500 bucks. So that's about a 25% decrease. Actually, I think it might be a little bit less than that. Yeah. All right, so now for the third one. Now, this one actually surprised me the most because this one is based off the NASDAQ, and it tanked. I lost a lot of money very, very quickly. It was at 175 at the end of September 2nd. It looked like it was going to do just fine. Even though Apple and Tesla both sank quite a bit on the second. And then on the third, it just dropped. It went all the way down to 129, which is a negative 18% return from right here. So probably it was probably like a 25% decrease that it experienced in the course of 2 days. And yeah, I lost a lot of money, sold out probably right around here. And yep, my returns were not very good, but I'm going to explain to you guys the signs that I should have known to sell. But I'm going to show you guys all the signs that I had thrown right in my face, and I still ended up not selling. I was really stupid, and you guys can learn a lot from this, I hope. It'll cause you a lot of money if you don't see these. All right, so the first one is Tesla's largest outside investor. He's a Scottish investment corporation named Baillie Gifford. He's a billionaire. He was forced to sell part of his stake in Tesla for what it seems like internal policies in his country. So I'm not really sure what that all means, but he ended up selling 2% of the stakes. And when I saw this, and I mentioned it in a video a couple days ago, the instant I saw this, I should have thought a lot of people are going to start claiming their profits because, a huge investor in the stock is currently selling a chunk of his. So a lot of other investment corporations are going to start just taking their profits and moving on to the next company. Well, I ended up not thinking that through. I figured, oh, maybe it's just a correction, it'll bounce back. It didn't. It actually was worse the second day. As you guys can see here, I mean, this was a solid decrease, but on the second it was even worse, and I should have just took my losses and walked away. Now, another sign that was thrown in my face that I should sell and just take my losses was when I talked about how stock splits, when they occur, they don't increase the value of stocks at all. And when this and Apple both basically doubled after the release that they were going to have a stock split. I should have claimed my money on the day the 5-to-1 stock split occurred. That was really stupid of me. Obviously, when a stock split occurs and there's this much hype behind it, people are going to sell off right after it goes away because there's nothing to look forward to anymore. The stock split's gone. And that is a huge indicator of why I should have sold both Tesla and Apple, but also TQQQ, because TQQQ is based on the NASDAQ. Apple is a huge portion of the NASDAQ. And if Apple were to fall, the NASDAQ would definitely fall too. So TQQQ and Apple basically are the same exact buy. If you buy TQQQ and you buy Apple and they both go, or one goes up, the other will go up too, most likely. So I should have sold Tesla, Apple, and TQQQ all on Monday night when I saw the signs. That was really stupid of me. I ended up losing like $2,500 or something like that. But I learned from my mistakes, and I hope you guys learn from my mistakes too. And I am fortunately not going to let this happen again. And now for the third reason. When I looked on the Dow Jones after market on Tuesday night, Wednesday is when I lost about $2,000. So the night before that, the Dow Jones was set to negative points for the future. And I should have realized that if that was going to be negative, Apple and Tesla would both likely be negative, and that would just cause a huge loss for all of my options because my options were already barely holding on. I lost hundreds of dollars. As you can see right here, this is when they were barely holding on. Was right here. And then Tuesday night, they were just barely surviving, and I saw it dip right here in the morning. I should have sold at 3,600, just took my losses, but instead I thought, maybe it's just a correction and event in the next couple days it'll go up. Just being optimistic and really trying to keep my losses to a minimal. But as you guys can see here, the next couple hours I ended up losing like $500 an hour for the next like 3 hours. It was quite miserable, but I kept on thinking. I'm like, oh, it's gonna recover. It's gonna recover. It dipped down so much, it has to recover, and it never did. It kept on going, and it kept on giving me these short bursts of hope, like this one right here, and then it would just tank down even further. It would go up. I'd be like, oh, it might be recovering now. Eventually, it was around right here. I just decided, okay, it's not gonna recover anymore. It's definitely not gonna recover. I should just take my losses and keep my 1500 before it ends up useless. Because today, if I would have those all expire, they would have all expired worthless and I would have lost all my money. So I came out with 1500 and then today happened. Today, as you can tell, it was looking optimistic, it was going up a little bit, and then it just sunk. It sunk bad. Apple went down to 8% in one day again. Tesla went down a lot, Amazon went down a lot, and so I ended up buying put options about right here, and then I ended up buying another one. Let's see what time it was at. Ended up buying another one at 10. Yeah, so I ended up buying some around here, and then I ended up buying one around 10, which is actually a really good time to buy them. I mean, it was just starting to climb up, so the puts were still fairly high, so I didn't have to put as much money into it. As you guys can see here, it was only a limit price of $70, so that's a pretty good chunk of change considering that it's a $125 one. So I put $55 in, and I have the chance of making $70 back. And since I bought it at such a dip, hopefully it happens. I'm very optimistic about it, and I really need to recoup some of my money that I lost in the past couple days. But eventually, in the next coming months, it'll come back and I'll be better than ever. And one more thing about investing, guys, from my experience, is not to doubt yourself. Don't doubt yourself at all. On this day, I only sold my Tesla put call spread. And as you guys can see here, if I would have kept literally the only thing that I sold, this would have made money. I was hoping for this call to make me money, but in the end, this put would have made me money because it went way below 437. So today I would have made that $1,000 off of Tesla if I would have just held it like I thought it was going to do fine, as you guys can see, it went down to 392. So I was in the, it would have to have $40 up in one day, I mean, to break even. And that was the only spread that I sold on Tuesday. The only one. And that ended up being the only one that would have made me money. And as for yesterday, which is Thursday, I planned, I mean, it's extremely risky. I planned on buying UVXY, which, as you guys don't know, is short term. It measures volatility. So if the markets are extremely volatile, this goes up. And as you guys can see here, it went up yesterday to almost $31. And as you guys can see, I even ordered the credit spread on September 3rd, a $28 to $29 put spread, and the limit price was $90. So I bought 10 of them for $100, and my max profit would have been $900 on that. I could have, as you guys can see, I would have bought it around right here. It would have flew past what my put spread was, and I could have sold it on the 4th for probably about $800-900 because of how high above it was. And then I could have recouped some of my losses. But instead, I ended up not doing that and losing thousands of dollars. So basically, what happened this week is I went against my gut 2 times and I ended up losing money both times when I should have just stuck with my gut and bought what I thought was right. I most likely wouldn't be as far in the hole. Hopefully, I would have been at least like $2,500 at least. But it is what it is. I ended up going against my gut and I ended up losing quite a bit. Now, the markets are looking a little bit more promising today. At the end of the day, it was actually up $127. This morning was not looking good, down another 286. Hopefully it stabilizes a little more. I can put out some more videos on what I'm going to do with this money in the future. Again, guys, I'm not a financial advisor, and everything I say, they're just suggestions and ideas for my own investments. If you choose to follow the moves that I make sure to do it at your own risk and before performing any trades, and remember to always do your own research. Alright, that is it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed and learned something throughout this video, and I'd love it if you hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. It would mean a lot. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.